Hola y bienvenidos a la Daily Hustle. Soy Enrique Barnes y presidente. Es el mejor cerveza. Pienso. Es el bate por No Filter Network. Miguelito Santiaguito, a.k.a. Bobby Ball.
Yes!
What's up, motherfuckers?
Enrique! All right. Good to be with you, Enrique Byrones.
Well,
who knows where
you know
we've been?
We're juiceful. We're useful. We're juiceless. We are
Useless.
I usually say fucking useless, but yeah, you drilled it.
Good to be with you. Happy Monday. It is the beginning of the American Business Week. It's also day one of 3 potential shows that I will show up to this week. I don't know. Check the schedule on No Filter. I may show, I may not. If it's scheduled, it might be, it might not. I might leave you guessing right to the very last minute. But listen, mistakes were made, but a lot of good things happened too, right? And hearts were mended, hearts were broken, tough times were had, but tough times don't last, Enrique. Tough people do, you know that. Look at Bobby's ball haul behind you guys. We're probably 60 pearls right here, okay? I just picked one right out of there. That's a fucking pearl, guys. And you guys know, we got a lot of baseball people here. You guys know, friends don't let friends quit. Believe in your fucking self. And a ball and 12 baseballs and a plastic bucket at Dick's is going to cost you Uncle Bren's coffin? Come on, Enrique.
Well, dude, we talked about that just being a business, us going out to big league parks. There's a dude that does that. His name's Zach Campbell. And he collects balls for a living.
Well, he totally different. This guy is talk about a guy who should be on a big league club. Perez Chica for the Diamondbacks. Obviously, Torey Lovullo's doing his thing. He's been your guy for years when they were sort of in the cellar, climbed their way out. Now they're, leading a very good division. And Perez Chica, I asked if they were going to sell Perez Chica jerseys at the team shop. He's the third base coach, and he catches the balls from the outfielders. I'm talking one hand off a bounce, pata, puts it in. He wears Hokas. He never is in the coach's box at third. His positioning is so interesting, and I've learned a lot from him, and I coach third exactly how Perez Chica taught me. Diamondbacks, please start selling Perez Chica jerseys and the jerseys of all the coaches in the team shop.
Where does he stand all the way down the line?
Bro, so nobody runner on first, he gets a more direct line with the guy on first.
Yeah.
But he shifts towards home plate still, and he starts to angle. He starts to angle, but not fully angled. So he's not here looking down the third baseline. He starts to angle himself here, right? And then once we have a runner on second, I'm talking Perez Chica has buried himself way down the third baseline, and he's fully turned and fully in a squat here and fully in a squat, and the batter's back behind him. He sees everything here. So that's how I was set up full on Perez Chica. Down, full squat. The batter's box or the coach's box is probably 6 feet up there. He's nowhere near it, dude. Perez Chica. If you want to learn how to coach third, watch the Diamondbacks Perez Chica.
So, by definition, and I know this because I've been called out by other coaches to get me in the batter's box. You've seen it several times, and I'm never in the batter's by the coach's box.
Yeah.
So, by rule, the definition is that you have to start in the coach's box. And then if there's a play being made with a runner, you basically have free reign to go wherever the fuck you want to go. So at that point, if I want to run all the way down the line with the runner, I can run down the line. It's interesting. I looked that rule up because I've been called out on it. I don't want to say so many times, but let's just say at least 5 times over the past 4 or 5 years. It seems like once a year, twice a year.
Me too.
Yes. Now, the reason why you don't get called out on it, even starting in the box, is because then the other coach has to stay in the fucking box. And the other coach is like, I don't want to do that. You do have to be aware, Kowalski, because you guys are going to get to this stage and it basically reverts to what we're going to talk about today on the Daily Hustle. But guys are going to steal signs. And one of the ways they do it is typically the first base coach that'll come on the line and look back and get just catchers 1, 2, whatever. And then he'll have a way. He can even have a signal, a nonverbal signal back to the dugout, who then will relay the sign back to the hitter. So, dude, all of this is going on. And it was self-evident this past weekend in Cary, North Carolina, where you had 24 of the best travel ball organizations, Kowalski, in the country. And we dealt with some bullshit, to say the least. I am surprised that they would go so far to do it at a tournament like this. I think I can see this happening at the USSSA level. I think I can see this happening at Perfect Game. I've seen it happen at both places. But you got to have some balls as an organization and a big time, I don't give a fuck what other people think about me attitude when you pull this shit here at USA Baseball.
Yeah, I mean, it's been something that I've sort of seen firsthand, and one of the very, very few pieces of advice that you gave me. I remember I said, hey man, my first head coaching gig here, like, any advice? And you're just, nah man. And that nah man was like, you got it. And after like a day and a half of like, what the fuck, man? Give me head coaching advice. It's like, I have for a long time, and you got it. Nah, you got it. But you did say the parents, because the kids ain't the problem, man. The parents are. It's so wild. And then you step back and you go, fuck, they're still kids. I still look at Colton at 12U and go, he's a little roll dog still. He's just a Grom. They're 12. But because of how they play, we kind of perceive them as much older, especially at the level that LTP NorCal is now. So, yeah, the game has become so advanced, but yet when we step back and remember why we're doing this, remember that we're not coaching baseball. We're coaching people who play the game of baseball. And so, yeah, it is to me incredible to hear about how this was happening. And then the sort of spontaneous, like, wait a minute, you guys are stealing signs. The parents are stealing signs and relaying. And then having to go through like, what the fuck? So, you know, and have the game end the way that it did, the first game with the balk. I mean, that is just, I've seen some coaches say from the dugout, he doesn't have it. Like, it's just, and I'm like, the kid's 8, bro. Like, it's like, so yeah, I mean, it's almost like you're on the edge of laughter and screams. And I think we should be more on the side of laughter, because when you look at our program and what Let Them Play has done, not just in California, but I'm telling you, we really represent it here in Arizona the right way, is we can look back on our program and know that our wins, we got them doing it the right way. And we're not just growing and learning as a program and in the kids, but we're teaching. We're growing, learning, and we're teaching. We're teaching other teams how to play the game. We're teaching some other coaches maybe how to not overcoach and let the kids go out there and play a little more free, a little more fearless. So when I have these feelings, this existential angst about what went down at a game or what some coach said to me or whatever went down, I just go, I have to check back in, right? Like, okay, what is let them play about? And so,
yeah, I think it's important to always ask yourself, and this then will help you make decisions on what to do or what not to do as a coach on a baseball field. What's best for the organization? Because if you going out there and arguing, say a clearly blown call till you're blue in the face and get ejected and you're dropping F-bombs and throwing this big ass temper tantrum on the field, is that what's best for the organization, even though you're right? Is arguing every single ball and strike what's best for the organization? Like when you look back and you're like, man, like every fucking ball and strike, you guys were bitching. Is that, do we want to become known as that team? So there's an art to it. And, you know, when you ask me about advice for being a first-time head coach, when I said, nah, you got it, I basically meant, dude, you got to go through it to get to it. The only thing that I can ever tell you would be expect the unexpected. Be willing to learn, adjust, adapt, and overcome each and every single scenario that you're going to be presented with. Your readiness and preparedness as a head coach comes with one thing and one thing only: experience. You have to do it. If you want to be a great baseball player, you got to play baseball. If you want to be a great baseball coach, you have to coach baseball. And when you go through these experiences, you learn. And you learn how to not only deal with each and every single situation, but you learn how to deal with your emotions and how to channel those emotions in a different direction. You learn how to communicate. You learn how to be, what's up, Kukue?
What's up?
you got to get tall and show the shirt.
Peachy!
Ain't nothing but peaches patches. Peaches patches. Peaches patches. Let me get a half out of that.
How? Where did the tooth go, Peachy?
Give him a big peachy smile. Show him all the teeth.
Show him your silver tooth.
Yeah, show him the silver, the pirate tooth.
Oh, what happened?
Sick, right? Callie ever have one?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, cool, because that's what we said. So great. Hey, promise her a hippopotamus or a baby dolphin or a giraffe or something right now, or send her a puppy.
Just a bulldog. You can have our bulldogs. All of them.
Oh. Dude, she really wants a puppy.
Have them. Which one do you want?
Yankee.
Okay, I knew you wanted Yankee. You've always wanted Yankee. Take Yankee.
All right, kids.
Bye.
Daddy loves you. Hey, be strong, be humble, be kind, always do your best.
And forget the rest. We're going to
Rule number 1, stand up straight with your chest up and your... The only 2 things you can control are...
your attitude and your effort.
Man, you guys are looking good.
Feeling good.
You should be in...
Hollywood.
See ya!
See ya. See ya.
Sorry about that, Burns. He didn't mean to interrupt you there, but I think it was an appropriate and life-optimizing bit of an interruption there. Alyssa, you take care of yourself. Again, your glute hamstring connection is a celebration, honey.
Love you.
And we love you.
Is that the car going out of the garage now?
Real life, man. People love it. You know, our listeners, I get probably 1,000 emails, and I'm sorry, guys, that I can't respond to all of them. But every day, our listeners are just, you know, how life is so real. The kids, the coffee, the cars going, you know, people can relate. And that's the beautiful thing for you, being outside the gates and just mingling with the real people, coaching games. I mean, the boys hit a podium this weekend. Shout out John Gall, also a podium finisher, right? John Gall, also a podium finisher, guys, also a bronze medalist. And look at John. I mean, a well-adjusted man, wonderful temperament, great life. So, guys, everybody this weekend, you're not going to be a bronze medalist forever, because John Gall now is a gold medalist in life. And that's really what we're going for.
John Gall with a big victory this weekend in their Little League match. I don't know, you call it a match. I guess you would call it a game. They're in District 52, Little League playoffs, and they're trying to get out of District 52 and make a run at Williamsport. They got some stiff competition. They played probably the second or third best team in San Mateo National, and they beat them. It was a big victory. And then I think they played again last night. I need to check the result, and we need to get Gall on here. But I'm guessing, or I'm hoping, they won again last night.
Mm-hmm.
He called me late night, and so because he called, I'm assuming they did. He tends to go dark when they don't. So I saw the missed call. I'm hoping that means that they won.
Right.
And they're set for a showdown with my old Little League, Alpine West Menlo Park.
Careful. Any school or former team that you came from is still a national powerhouse, a top-ranked institution of higher learning. It's Skull and Bones. I'm not going to say any more than that, but it is, because every person that I've ever ran into with you, they invented Velcro, they invented dice, somebody's dad invented the refrigerator. I mean, dude, it is. So yeah, anywho though, yeah, shout out John Gall. He's a real fucking legend. And we got 11 minutes to go here, Burns, now 10. Our podcast, of course, is brought to you by Athlete Empowered today. Go see Dr. Sean Drake here in Scottsdale, Arizona. He works with all the big leaguers here. So if he works with the big leaguers, he can work with you. Our podcast is brought to you by No Filter in partnership with Caffeine TV. So you know you're getting the best of the mod cons, Burnsy. So sip your Java, sit back, because Miguelito and Burnsy are bringing it to you here. It's the best of times, Burnsy, and you know we're here to help you make the most of it. What do you think about getting into the DH? Because I know we're going to have some banter about that.
Yeah, I'll read this one. It's very personal.
Get it.
First person here to try to get the nuances and stuff. I think the ping ponging of you and I reading these, like the Henry Ford one, was perfect. When I write one about somebody else, then you take it. When I write one about my own personal experiences, I guess I'll go ahead and go with it today. I wrote this one this morning. I got up at 3:30 a.m.
Good.
East Coast time.
12:30
a.m. your time. And eventually I got up and got a cup of coffee, and I went outside and I started walking. I didn't know how many miles, 10, 20 I am in. I was just hiking around this neighborhood as soon as the sun came up, about 5. And this one, I hit home, but it was very easy to write when you write about personal experiences. So this weekend was one of those where, once again, we continue to educate ourselves through these experiences and pass these on to our kids and continue to provide as many opportunities as possible for them. So without further ado, today's Daily Hustle, titled The Right Way. Buenos dias. Slow sip coffee. Today is Monday, June 26, 2023. Over the weekend, our Let Them Play squad competed for a medal against 24 of the best programs in the country at the USA Baseball Futures Invitational in Cary, North Carolina. We got out to a strong start, taking down a very solid team from South Florida, and then took on a national program out of the Southwest. Trailing 1-0 late in the game, the boys pushed a run across to force extra innings. In extras, with 2 outs and a runner on third base, as our pitcher was coming set, the runner took off for home, and the third base coach yelled, "Balk!" Our pitcher then instinctually fired the ball home without coming set, and that was the ball game. We lost 2-1. We protested the game because a coach yelling "balk" to force a balk is both illegal and absolute fucking bullshit. Although USA Baseball agreed, they concluded that the umpires on the field need to be the ones to make that call. So the 2-1 final stood. This put us in a very difficult spot. We needed to win our last pool play game against a very good team from Austin, Texas. And we basically couldn't give up a single run in order to make the top 8 and have any sort of chance of taking home a medal. The LTP boys responded beautifully, winning 10-0, and we snuck in as a 7 seed, which put us against the 2 seed, which was another huge national powerhouse program that was 3-0 and had absolutely demolished the competition. Once again, we pitched lights out, played flawless defense, got timely hitting, and won 6-0. The win put us in the semifinal game against a Southern California program we were very familiar with. Early in the game, we noticed a dad standing directly across from where we were calling pitches and conveniently staring into our dugout. He was picking the signs and then verbally relaying the sign to the hitter. When we noticed what was happening, we immediately called him out, which made for an amazingly awkward moment. Pretty much, it was kind of like the kid who got caught cheating in school and then had to put the dunce hat on and go stare at the wall for the rest of the day. Look, I don't necessarily think these cheaters are terrible people. The first coach who yelled, "Buck!" apologized and said by no means was it meant to be malicious. He claimed to be just doing what other travel ball coaches around the country are doing. I'm sure if he had the chance to defend himself, the dad picking our signs would have said the exact same thing. But here's the problem. They're teaching their kids that it's okay to deceive and it's okay to steal. And that one day their kids will pass on the same sort of disgusting mentality, which will then bleed into all arenas of their inevitably pathetic lives.
Oh, shit.
Through dirty tactics, they are essentially preparing the road for their players as opposed to preparing the players for the road. Then one day, when little Johnny and his team are faced with a real challenge and the bully coach isn't there to scare the other team and daddy isn't around to tell little Timmy a curveball is coming, they are all fucked. With the new PitchCom technology, stealing pitches at a D1 level and beyond is virtually impossible. And scaring an 11-year-old into balking has been and always will be a fucking embarrassment to mankind that will get you ostracized in society. That said, it's safe to say neither one comes with any lasting residual benefits. Ultimately, though, through all of the drama, the Let Them Play boys played their asses off and took home a bronze medal. They also unquestionably proved LTP is one of the very best programs in the country with some of the very best players. But most importantly, as a top national organization, we have never been so proud to teach, coach, and play the game the right way. LTPLFGEB. There it is, dude. I'll give you a couple of initial thoughts.
Yeah.
And I'll let you go. So basically, look, it's some of the biggest bullshit I've ever seen. I don't want to get too deep into it or too deep into the details or anything else. I don't want to sit here and look like, you know, we're complaining. Did it change the fact that we got bronze as opposed to gold? I don't know. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it helped us get bronze and we would have gotten nothing, right? The way the world works. But, and I will also tell you there were a lot of really good teams there. It was incredible. There was, of all the teams, the 24 teams, there was only one team that ended up going undefeated the entire time. And that was a team that we eventually lost to in the semifinal game that we played for the bronze medal game. And We won the bronze medal at the game. But the interesting thing is that when we try to prepare the road for the child, like, it never works. And it always comes back to bite you in the ass. And ironically, that one team that beat us with that bullshit play then ended up getting into the top 8 seed. And they lost their first fucking game. Shocker. Like, it's all of this stuff, it doesn't help. And so when we put the focus on just winning and not developing, and you make that just absolutely everything, you lose sight of what this is about. And especially at this age. I can even go so far as to say, look, the big leagues is all about winning too. But even in the fucking big leagues, Kowalski, there's a development process that comes, especially when they call these young players up. And when we get away from that and we focus on one thing and one thing only, in this win at all costs attitude, ultimately it's going to come back and bite you in the ass, as it did to this one team. So just real proud of the boys, real proud of the organization in general. I'm proud of our parents. I'm proud of our kids. Everyone involved. It was beyond a tremendous showing, knowing that these are supposed to be the 24 best programs in the country, and to come out of here with a bronze medal, it's just fucking awesome, especially when we had to go through what we went through with the adversity to get there.
You said it all, brother. I mean, here's my thoughts real quick. We'll close it out. We are efficient. We are 8:30 to 9. We're giving you probably 4 or 5 hours worth of informative, funny, and educational information. More free bases usually wins, right, Bernsey? But sometimes you play great and win. Sometimes you play great and lose. Sometimes you play lousy and win. Sometimes you play lousy and lose. So you got to compete to a standard, not a scoreboard, right? And I think that's what we're talking about here. And then when it comes to the tomfoolery and ballyhoo that took place with some of the parents on the other squad, you know, they say that youth is wasted on the young. And you know, that may be so. But it's theirs to waste, not yours, parents. So don't steal their childhood away. Prepare them to be an adult, sure. But, you know, let them be a child while they're supposed to be a child, and like enjoy and win and compete the right way.
One of our assistant coaches got really upset.
Wow.
I let him go. This wasn't like I was jumping in the middle to try to stop it. I watched the whole thing transpire, and he went face to face with this other coach, telling him his thoughts. And ultimately, his message to the other coach was, this is a great game. This has been unbelievable. Why would you want to take this out of the kids' hands?
Exactly. Right.
Let the kids decide how this beautiful game ends up. This isn't fucking about you. And the coach made it about him. He had to have his hand in it. He had to be that guy. And that's the sad thing. And then from the pitch stealing standpoint, it's an embarrassment to this organization. It's good on them. They had a fantastic weekend. I can't tell you if they did or did not do whatever it was all weekend. I don't really give a shit. But we came in well prepared, knowing that they would do this. And we had our antennas up, and we caught on right away. So we don't think, and this is the game we ended up losing, we don't think that we lost because of it. I don't think that at all. I think that we caught on early and we stopped it early. And that was just, that was huge. But at the same time, we joke around and say, take it easy, take it sleazy, take it any way you can get it, preferably sleazy. At least that's what Jimmy 2 times used to tell me as kind of the joke. But you know what, dude? in life now, and the more I reflect upon it and the more I live and go through these experiences and coaching and parenting, I just start to realize that none of this shit is about the result. I don't care about the result.
Right.
I care about the process that gets us where we want to go. I get everything in my life is focused on what I need to do in the moment to become a better father, to become a better coach, to become better on No Filter Network, to create better content. And what's the process that's going to get me there? And then focusing on that process. But dude, there's no fucking shortcuts. And even if you are cheating, even if you are stealing, even if you are lying, like eventually it's going to come back and bite you in the ass.
Yep.
It always does. It always will.
So if you're thinking about cheating and being sleazy, hush your butt, because it's going to bite you in the butt. And that's real talk. Am I right, Enrique? So here's what we're going to do, because it's been a hell of a show and we got to close things down here. We're going to leave you guys with a quote from Bill the Spaceman Lee, a father figure to us, a dear, dear friend, and a hell of a fucking ball player still to this day. He's a weapon. Quote, Bill Lee, the other day they asked me about mandatory drug testing. I said I believed in drug testing a long time ago. All through the 60s, I tested everything. Love you, Paul. Man, miss you. You're out there in the cosmos. And one day, me and Mr. Moon here, we're going to be out there in the cosmos and we're going to reconnect, my brother. All right, y'all. Of all the shows,
this has been one of them. I missed you, Bill. Buckwheat, good to see you on here in the chat, man. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Hey, Buckwheat!
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at least with Kowalski. Tomorrow, traveling back to Tahoe. So there will be no Daily Hustle. Wednesday, we're back on. Most likely.
And see ya!
Most likely Thursday, back on. If I'm at home, it's on. It gets difficult through the course of the summer with all the traveling and everything. But if I'm at home, we'll come on, do a half hour of life optimization sort of stuff, try to keep it as consistent as possible. I think we got Kowalski consistently Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which will keep things entertaining, to say the least. And then on Tuesday of this week, which is tomorrow, and it's dependent on if I get home in time, but I believe we have a Deuces Wild. So I'm not sure if that's scheduled yet or not. Doesn't necessarily look like it actually is. But we'll hit that Deuces Wild up tomorrow with Will the Thrill and go from there. So everyone has a fantastic day. And we will see you tomorrow, Deuces Wild, 6 p.m. Pacific. Possibly.